All right, hello again, everyone. This is Jeff Scott. And if you look on screen right now, you'll see that my YouTube channel, which is basically JPS-Jeff Teaches Programming, I had 83 videos in here when I tried teaching people Python. And I did a lot of what I was going to do, and I didn't do some of what I was going to do. But I've decided to go on and start teaching stuff I probably know better. So I've created a new playlist that's called Jeff Teaches Programming C#. And if you go out there, there's only one video on it, which basically repeats a lot of the stuff I just told you. But what I want to do is to start teaching people C#. Now, when I look on here, I still have Visual Studio, and it's Visual Studio 2022. All right. And if I bring that up, it will eventually come up. There it is. All right. It'll show the stuff that I've gotten there, things that I've done in the past, okay? But what I'm going to do, or at least what I'm going to try to do, is just start from scratch. And if you say, what do you mean, Jeff? I'm going to show you right now, okay? So what I'll do basically is, or what I want to do, is to remove this. So I'm going to, let's see. Trying to remember how to uninstall here. Let's see. Now let's let the internet figure it out for me. How to uninstall Visual Studio. All right, and I guess it's AI thing. Open the control panel on your computer. Okay, that makes sense. So I'll go over to control panel. And in here, I'll have programs and features. And one of the things that's in here should be, there's Visual Studio Community 2022. So I'm going to right mouse click on that and choose uninstall. Hopefully this isn't going to be a big mistake that I'm doing this, but we'll see. It says you're about to uninstall this, okay? And the reason that I'm doing this is I want to literally start from a blank slate, so to speak. All right, so it's, as you can see, it's waiting to uninstall. I will double check to make sure when I get done that I'm going to reinstall it. And what I had was Visual Studio 2022. I don't know if there's a newer one or not, but we're going to find out momentarily. As you can see, it's about 40% uninstalled. Sorry, there'll be some dead air during this, but again, what I said was I want to be able to start with a clean slate, so to speak. Now, what I'm going to do when this gets done, but I just want you to see this. All right, and I'm just going to type in here, install Visual Studio. And you'll notice there's 2024, which is the newest one. All right, so there's download Visual, etc. Let's see, install Visual Studio, choose your preferred features. I'm going to try this one right here in just a minute, but let's see where we are. Oops, let's see. Still stuck on 37%. So hopefully that'll finish up. There it goes, 40. All right. I know there was a thing in here that was, I think it was visualstudio.com/downloads. See if that still works. There we go. Now that's got 2022 in there. All right. So I don't want that. That's the one that I had. So I'm going to close that. So install Visual Studio and choose your preferred features. Let's look at that one. Sure your computer is ready. Determine which version. The latest release of Visual Studio 2022. So it looks like it's the one that I already have. And that's fine. Then I will go back. So I'd recommend, if you're going to follow along with me, you go to VisualStudio.com/downloads. Hopefully you can read that okay, and if for some reason you can't, let's make it a little bigger so people can see it. There it is. So that's where I am right now. I went to Visual Studio, actually just .com/downloads, and this is where it pushed me off to. All right, so I'm going to do that as soon as this finishes up. And I'm going to look and double check and make sure that's not here anymore. Still showing it is here. And it's up to 86% uninstalled. And it looks like just about finished. There we go. It says you haven't installed anything yet. Good. All right, I've got the Visual Studio Installer 2 on here, but I think you'll be totally fine. There is no Visual Studio anymore. All right, if you go out to where I showed you, which was again VisualStudio.com/downloads. Let me stop for a second. My clock's making noise in the background here. All right, so what I decided to do was to go from the comfort of my living room, and that's where I'm broadcasting from. So every 15 minutes, because there's a grandfather clock in there, at least on the hour, I'm going to stop or pause this so that you don't have to hear that. All right, so I'm here, and I'm going to click Visual Studio. Now you see there's 3 versions. This is free. This is free for like a month. This is free for like a month. The community will work just fine for this class. So I'm going to click free download. And it's coming in here and it says that it's done. So I'm going to try to open it from here. All right, it says, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Yes. Okay, there's the installer. It's getting ready. It says downloaded and installed. It should come up hopefully and ask me what I want to install in just a bit. Okay, now there's a lot of stuff in here. And you say, well, there's not that much. Yeah, but it even goes down further. Okay, now we will want the ASP.NET and web development. We will want .NET desktop development. And for right now, that's all I'm going to choose. I'm going to choose data storage and processing also, because that's going to allow me later to work with databases. Okay? And I'm not going to choose anything else. So the 3 things again that I chose were ASP.NET and web development, .NET desktop development, and data storage and processing. Okay, so I'm going to say install. It's going to take a bit of time. And what I'm going to do is once I got everything up and running, I'm going to go and try to open it, make sure it opens okay, and that'll be it for this lecture. And I'll actually start writing code in the next lecture. But I wanted to make sure people had things in here where, you know, you would be able to see the install if you've never done this before. Now you'll notice that this is not small, 3.13 gig, all right? And it's not slow, but I wouldn't say it's fast either. So I won't need this how to uninstall anymore or installing this. Now there was an install of 2024, but it didn't come up on here. So I'm just going to keep the 2022 that I have. All right. So you can see it says that it's got about basically a little over a third already done. And these packages, there's about 500 of them, and so that's about 40% done. All right. Now it's got start after installation. If you don't want that, of course, you can uncheck that. And we're up to about 2 gig out of 3.15 gigs, so it's getting there. And of course, this is something you only have to do when you download this stuff. It should, if you don't have the Visual Studio installer on your machine, it should bring it in there and bring it up. You can always go back to the installer and uninstall anything that I've added or install anything that I haven't added if you want to by just bringing up the installer. And you can see I've got just about 3 gig done, and where my packages, well, more than half, let's put it that way. It says 30%, so some of the other packages must be bigger in size. All right, hopefully it'll go a little faster now. So even though there's only about 130 more packages, it's only now about 50% of the way finished. Now we're putting the desktop development in there because that's going to allow us to create both console apps and GUI apps. All right. The desktop development is going to have all the default stuff that basically we need. The ASP.NET and the web development will be later when we start to take a look at being able to write web apps with this. And as I mentioned before, the data storage one, the other one that I loaded, is going to allow us to work with databases, in particular SQL Server. But we'll talk about that at a later time. I have no idea right now, if somebody told me, well, you're going to have 200 videos that you're going to create when you get done with this C# thing, I'd probably believe that. All right. So this is a long road. And what's the old saying? It's a marathon, not a sprint. All right. So we got about 50 more packages loaded, about 25% more. Again, visualstudio.com/downloads will get you to where I am right now. Oh, I guess that's to start the installation. That didn't say. So hopefully when this is done, boom, we'll be able to just close everything up here. I've never looked at the release notes or any of that stuff. I mean, of course, I suppose they've got probably important information in there if things have changed or if there's something that you need to be aware of. I just never felt the need to do that. So, as it says, it's just finishing up here. I'm a software guy, so when it says optimizing assemblies and all that stuff, I have no idea really what's happening in there. Now, what it did too, what it started to do, and of course I think I just closed it, you're going to have this little thing here. It kind of looks like a bow tie. All right, I call it a purple bow tie. And as it says, sign in with Microsoft, create an account. I don't think you have to do any of that. You can, as it says, skip it and add things later. You can choose your background. I like the light because I just think it's easiest and it shows the best. Now I'm going to start Visual Studio. From now on, anytime I want to start Visual Studio, I'm just going to come down to right here. All right. Now, as we start, you'll notice what it says here. You can go out to GitHub, and there's other places you can go, Bitbucket and other things, and clone a repository. You can open an existing project or solution, which we'll talk about. If you've got stuff in a folder, you can open that. We're going to choose create a new project. All right, now you see all this junk here. These are all things that I've created in the past, back when I was teaching. So you'll notice that they're all back in 2024. All right, for now, I'm going to just close this. I'm going to stop right now. And that's how you do the install. And when I bring it back up again, I'm going to come in and I'm going to write a few simple console programs. In fact, let's say I'll write 2 simple console programs that have nothing to do with the BMI program I talked about, that have nothing to do with the payroll program I talked about. Well, we'll just write 1 or 2 simple programs, and we'll write them both as console apps, and we will write them as GUI programs. Okay? All right, so I'll be back with that momentarily. See you then.